The dangers of a strong earthquake in Metro Manila loom large. Frontline or first responders are not leaving things to chance. Tomorrow, they'll conduct another earthquake drill. The drill will not only take place here in Metro Manila, but also in other parts of the country. Command center for tomorrow's exercises will be in Cebu, which was struck by a strong tremor in 2012. Cebu was also affected by a powerful quake that rocked Bohol a year after. Joining us now, Ishmael Narag of FIVOLC Seismological Observation and Earthquake Prediction Division. Welcome to Newsnight. Sir, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me here.
Okay, before anything else, the name of your division is Earthquake Prediction Division, but it doesn't mean you are predicting whether a quake will happen or not, right?
We're not predicting any events right now. We are just forecasting what would be the impact of an earthquake in a particular area, the worst case scenario that could happen.
Worst case scenario. In other words, what the area will look like when an earthquake or if an earthquake strikes.
Right.
Okay. Well, let's begin with this. First, the drill tomorrow, like many other drills that we've had in the past, basically preparing people about what to do in an earthquake, right? So you have you run, you duck, cover, and hold, etc., right?
So basically what we do way before this activity is people should plan ahead, no? So know where the areas that are safe and which areas are not safe, and of course what's in between. So they map out where to go just in case there's this big event, and then of course they need to prepare what the things they need just in case they need to stay there for a long time. So
a grab bag.
Yes, the grab bag and almost all of the things that they need to survive for about 3 days. So I think people should be that prepared because we don't know where earthquakes will occur. So right now there are speculations where they will possibly happen, but right now we don't know yet when and where it will happen.
Why is it important, a grab bag good for 3 days?
Well,
why 3 days?
Okay, well, we've seen that the government, given its limited resources, could not respond immediately just in case there's this big event. So I think we've seen time and again that people are expecting the national government to answer all of their needs immediately, but that's not really the truth. We have very limited resources and they have to be concentrated in certain areas. So it's very important that people, especially those who need medicine regularly, to have their resources immediately within their grasp so that they can survive during the times that resources are not readily available to them.
Yeah, there can't also be immediate rescue because sometimes what happens is that the first responders themselves are casualties,
right,
or are injured in an earthquake.
That's right. So it would take some time before the national government would respond to a certain area. Or sometimes if it happens in Metro Manila, that would be, well, the effect would be really great.
Right, because of, well, we have a very populated
it's the
area, the
densely
largest,
populated.
Densely populated, the infrastructure not very good. You have all these informal settler communities.
And the three
not a very good place, in other words.
Seat of government.
Seat of government, not a very good place, in other words, to have an earthquake.
Right. Unfortunately, but it's expected at some point.
The studies that have come out have talked about 37,000 deaths, instantaneous deaths.
Only in Metro Manila.
In Metro Manila, and buildings collapsing. You know, what's interesting is, you know, when we have an earthquake drill, hindi ba? So we have people filing down the stairs of 10, 20, 30-story buildings, etc. But how do we prepare people, Mr. Narag, when an earthquake strikes? Many of the buildings will not be standing. Many of them will be damaged. Roads will be blocked. You'll have street lights, etc., falling on the roads, for example. The scenario in Metro Manila will not look like it does now after an earthquake strikes.
That's true.
Right? So how do we, ano yung mindset na kailangan ng tao?
So, well, all over the world there are examples of big events that have occurred. So we need to bombard them with images that could possibly happen. And we've seen that in cases where the environment is very similar to the Philippines. And then we look at the worst case scenario based on the different hazards that are in their area. For example, liquefaction might occur, some landslides might occur.
Liquefaction meaning yung roads.
The roads
hindi siya buo.
Oh, yeah. So the soil will behave like water and everything on top of it will start to sink. So that's the possible scenarios. And of course within the building itself, some non-structural damage. Even if it's still standing, sometimes the stairs will not be available. So there are a lot of broken glasses along the way. So with this, people should be prepared to go through this process and go to the safe place immediately before the bigger aftershocks will occur.
Go to a safe place and have a meeting place, right?
Right, that's right.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ishmael Narag of FIVOLC. Salamat. Thank you for being here.